Here's another podcast from the Pod Bros Network.
Welcome back, everyone, to an all-new, brand-new Jean-Pod Van Damme cast. It is Jeff and John in studio, and we are taking on Jean-Claude Van Damme Behind Closed Doors, Episode 2. Jeff, how's it going?
It is going well.
Awesome. I'm back from Cali. I did not see Van Damme while I was out there.
Sadness.
I didn't see his wife or his children at all, unfortunately.
You were looking for them, too.
I tried. I was calling out, Van Damme, Van Damme, in the streets.
Come to me.
You know, nothing. Still trying to get that interview with him, but nothing's happening.
Keep at it.
I'm trying. We'll get there. But in the meantime, we are taking on episode 2, like I said, and we just got done watching it in studio. We've been okay, so there's a couple things we got to talk about before we talk about episode 2. Number one, apparently there's been some death hoaxes. Van Damme actually had to come out. I didn't see anything, but he came out on Twitter and Facebook and with the video saying, "I am not dead yet." And he's like, "I am in Austria shooting some film." And then he flexed for us.
Hell yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
I mean, who could believe that he could die anyways? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right? You know, a lot of this Chuck Norris jokes really happen, but we all know that Van Damme is the origin to all of this. So, yeah.
You saw him do the splits between those two semis.
Exactly, man. That was legitimate. So here we are. We've been on Twitter as well. One of our friends of the network, Jonathan Presley, he actually tweeted at us yesterday or the day before. He was at I think Time
Strip
Warp
club.
Comics. No. Similar, comic stores and
similar
strip clubs.
smell.
Yeah, right. Similar types of people. What? No, he was there, and he said that, or he took a photo of a Van Damme Street Fighter comic from DC, like the movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So.
When are we getting that?
I was going to say, I'm thinking we might need to take the journey up, was it Port Huron or somewhere around there where the store's at? So
hell yeah.
I was like, all right, time for us to go.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. I did not know that they created a Street Fighter Van Damme movie comic.
We should get
It's
the action
crazy.
figures too.
Oh, I know. We really do need to.
I have
to
Guile
in
and
the studio.
Blanca somewhere.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. We need to get them in the studio is what needs to happen. But yeah, man. That was crazy. I talked with Ryan a little bit, too. We emailed each other back and forth. He was happy that we liked The Bouncer as well. He told us to check out, I believe it's called The Crew, and it's on Netflix. So when we do the 6 Degrees of Van Damme, to check out that one, because that's from the same director, and one of the guys that was in The Bouncer was in that one, too.
Oh,
and it's supposed to be just as good. So I'm very excited to just see that, whether we review it or not. I think we will once we get through all this, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to watch it no matter what. So that's
really.
what it
I'm
comes
interested.
down to. I really liked The Bouncer. So
Me too. Even if JCVD wasn't in it, I still would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, right? Yeah, seriously.
But it just, him being in it just, amped it up.
I know, man. Definitely. So, yeah, I think that's kind of what we all have this time around. Let me just check Twitter since, we're getting towards the end of our Van Damme podcast. Might as well have some more interaction, have fun with it.
There you go.
Also, check out FOMOcast on the Podbros Network. They just followed us as well. The podbros.com. Guess while we're talking about, get into it. Amazon, go to our link. It's right up there at podbros.com. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps us out in the long run. Also, we have a TeePublic store, which even though we haven't put up our own designs on there yet, we actually have teamed up with TeePublic, so we are able to put other people's designs on our store page, which is pretty sweet.
Hell yeah, man.
And so we get kind of a cut of that from when you buy from our store. So go to tee.pub/lic/podbros, and you will find some sweet Bloodsport-inspired shirts up there as well. All the meanwhile, I am legitimately getting back into trying to get into my graphic design. It's been forever. Here's that cover of the Street Fighter comic book. It's in rough shape. I mean, if they wanted to charge us more than 99 cents for this, I probably wouldn't buy it, because you can tell the cover's kind of off of it a little bit. But
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
It's still sweet. I would actually frame it. You know?
That artwork looks like something you'd see on one of those 90s X-Men trading cards.
Yes, exactly.
Like the people that do romance novel artwork on the side.
Yes. So yeah, we have that, and also Lee. We were tweeting back and forth. Van Damme on January 24th put up a throwback to Maximum Risk with his late friend Stefanos Milsakis, which I had no clue that he had passed away.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yep. There they are together in Maximum Risk. No clue that he had passed.
Me either.
Rest in peace. But yeah, I think that's all we have really in regards to just us talking with other great Van Damme friends. So we just watched episode 2, and to me, I'll get right into this. It was still good, but I feel like episode 1 was a great grabber to get you into the show.
Yes.
Episode 2 wasn't nearly as fun as episode 1, but it still had
very enjoyable moments.
Yeah.
And some boobs.
Yeah, I was going to say episode 2 is what stopped me from watching it at work back in the day when it first came out. I was immediately, when they were showing the whole summary of what the show was going to be about, and then a pair of tits came up on the screen, I was like, well, I can't watch that at work. So that's where I stopped when I originally was watching Behind Closed Doors. So yeah, a quick summary of Behind Closed Doors. I guess getting into the IMDb. Did the IMDb have summaries? I know they had the episode by episode, but I can't remember if... Yeah, they did. They had episode summaries, right?
You are asking the wrong person.
Oh my gosh. See, he didn't even pay attention to...
I didn't do my homework.
That's okay.
My dog ate it.
Yeah, well, Van Damme would be okay with that. So yeah, episode 2 is titled Birthday. In this episode, it's the week of Jean-Claude's 50th birthday and time for a poignant reflection on a roller coaster life. Wife Gladys also takes a trip down memory lane in L.A. She revisits the home they lived in when Jean-Claude first hit the big time and returns to the cafe where they had their first date. It's an emotional journey for Gladys. She remembers the good times, but it also reminds of the hard times when Jean-Claude fell victim to drugs. And yeah, they don't beat around the bush with that one. They basically, she comes out and says, he was addicted to cocaine and she was there for him all that time, and that's totally true. She was. She stood with him.
Oh yeah, she's a saint.
And even when at the tail end of the episode, they go on a Skype FaceTime, whatever, and they're talking, and he's just going on and on about how she's his rock, and I hope no man ever treats Bianca this way, and no woman should allow their man to do this to him, and yet she still held out with me, and I don't deserve this, blah, 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 and then it ends. But it's basically like Gladys is just really good to him, man.
Yeah.
Really good to him, especially when he's off and talking on Paris radio and the women want kisses from him. They want actor kisses, It's like, how do they do it in the movies? And then they just actually kiss.
Yep.
So... Yeah.
You want one too?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That one woman's sitting there and he's like, all right, it's your turn. And she's kind of like, well, I got called out. I guess okay. And then the male host is like, all right, my turn. And they joke around about it. But don't do it.
And then he fights a dude with nunchucks.
And then he fights a dude with fake nunchucks. Yeah, yep.
And he actually kicks him around pretty good.
Yeah, he does. And the guy's like, I'm just kidding. What they do in radio, I guess Parisian radio is just the same as American, where it can get kind of annoying. Like,
yeah.
Bonjour! And they had a good time with that. But in the meantime, Van Damme. So throughout this episode, Van Damme has this like surprise guest show in Belgium where he goes on. And it's like, this is your life, Van Damme. And his parents come out, and his son comes out, and then that's kind of like it. And then they have some of these celebrities like Jackie Chan, Dolph Lundgren, talk about how great Van Damme is and how they enjoy working with him. Which I'm like, wait, what? Jackie Chan works with Van Damme?
Yeah.
I don't think ever.
No, I think they probably knew each other through Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, that probably, right? That's kind of what I think too. So yeah, anyway, they did that, and then Van Damme's in Paris, and he goes to Moulin Rouge, and that's where you see the tits and stuff.
Yeah, there's like boobs and miniature horses.
Yeah. Moulin Rouge is kind of crazy, man. Anacondas,
boa
constrictors.
In like a baptismal pool.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Yeah,
the boobs were great though.
Yeah, man. If only Appalachia churches were like this over here. That was everything
we
the
could
same.
Introduce it.
Everything the same except for the boobs, right? So.
Yeah, it's got the snakes, the baptism.
Yeah, right. But anyway, not to get religious behind closed doors. So yeah, that was there was that, and then he meets up with his Ukrainian billionaire buddy again. They go shooting at a Ukraine gun
club / range.
Right? Yeah, range, and they have $100 bet, which is nothing to them. And Van Damme shoots the target in between the eyes, but he has a 9mm and he doesn't even hit the target at first. And then, but I mean, that just goes to show his buddy pulls out the Kalashnikov and just lights up the paper, and then Van Damme gets the 9mm to go against it. I was like, "Are you serious?" From such a down range too.
Yeah, and he wasn't even like using a perch or anything. He was just shooting freehand. Whereas his buddy it was prone. He was using the
Besides
table
when he was he had a fucking stand for it. So like that's the first thing that we saw. We saw that he had it all set up, and I'm going, anyone can fucking hit bullseye when you have it zoomed in.
And he wasn't even shooting that well either.
No, man. It kept jumping on him after every shot. And then Van Damme goes freehand on. And if you know guns at all, or if you know shooting handguns even, after a certain amount, they can be wildly inaccurate. Depending on what you have. And so, I mean, this target is way down range.
Yeah.
This isn't at the normal target range, just in general speaking, the distance that you normally have when you're shooting a handgun. I mean, this was far down there, man. And of course, so he doesn't hit anything. But then he gets whatever. Do you know what he was shooting when he actually shot the eyes and the mouth?
I already forgot.
Yeah, I forgot too. Some semi-automatic. Let's put it out there. And he signs it, and then he puts it up in the shop. So, and then they go to some fish market where they eat caviar, and
it's like
$1,000. It's if it was at a caviar shop, it would have cost $1,400, and it cost $800 US or whatever. So, and that's when Jeff and I actually had our own conversation. If we've ever tasted caviar, I have. You haven't.
I have not.
But it's like there's no point in if you don't like fish, don't bother. It's like, hey, let's put some sea water in these little gelatin balls, and then
salty tapioca.
Salty tapioca, pop rocks that pop in your mouth. So, anyway, they go on that, and Van Damme immediately gathers a crowd there, and they want autographs, and then he's like, "I gotta go." But yeah, and then all the meanwhile, Gladys is kind of taking trips down memory lane. They go to one house that they lived in when the kids were really little. So it's basically when Van Damme's kind of made it big after Bloodsport, Kickboxer, probably around Universal Soldier, I would assume. And, it's a nice size house, and they're in LA, so it's like, it costs them a lot of money no matter what. And she said it's bigger on the inside than what it looks like on the outside,
so
too.
They have some sort of magical house.
Yeah, man, right?
Like
it's
a Doctor Who type thing.
Yeah, exactly. So she's with Bianca, and they're just talking about it, and that's when they're bringing up the good and the bad. And then she goes to a cafe, a little 50s diner, where Van Damme took her after he tried taking her to a fancy restaurant. He had white pants, a white tank top with white suspenders or whatever, with no jacket or anything. A tank top. It's like, think of Kickboxer when that's the Van Damme look. And Van Damme, they end up not letting him into the restaurant because he needs a jacket.
So
it's
he
one of those.
kicked the shit out of each and every one of them.
Yep, beat the shit out of them and said, this is some French cuisine for you. So, and then he was like, I know of a place down the street, very comfortable. And so he took her to the 50s diner instead. And she's like, I actually like this stuff more. I hate the fancy stuff, yada, yada, yada. And, she's reminiscing. She's kind of, she misses him. And rightfully so, man. He's off in Eastern Europe doing his thing, and
making out with random
LA.
women.
Making out, yeah, I know,
looking
right?
At boobs.
Yeah, they're going to Madame, the nightclub. So meets up with Samantha Runson, the famous DJ that they had to point out to at the club. And so, yeah. So that was basically the episode. Is there anything else that you remember in this episode that I might have forgotten that I haven't mentioned?
No.
If anything, this episode was kind of more like, hey, it's a little bit of this is his birthday. Oh, we find out that his son Chris is a germaphobe.
Yeah.
So he touches everything in the bathroom with his feet.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
His whole family's kooky.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, they very much. It is I don't know. It's a celebrity family. That's what it comes down
pretty
to.
Pretty much.
You know, it's kind of funny because you can see it's when it seems like the type of family that is grounded. Like the father and mother are grounded because they never had really money before, and then they came into the money, but the kids have grown up with money.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the Osbournes, for instance, or Hogan Knows Best.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
although they didn't turn out nearly as shitty as
right? Yeah, exactly.
Hulk Hogan's kids.
Yeah, right. So, and in a sense, even though like Chris is very down to earth, but it's still kind of funny. You can tell like
he's pretty. He's a little kooky.
He came from money, and so he's got a good head on his shoulders, type of thing. Not taking that away from him, but you can tell like the kids came from money.
We still don't know if he
not
speaks
so much.
We still don't know if he speaks French.
Yeah, we don't know because they didn't show. I don't think he does.
I don't
because
think so
I think
either.
they would have showed him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, speaking to his father in French, but yeah. So that's pretty much the episode. Fun little episode. Nothing too crazy. Not as good as episode 1, but it falls in line.
The scene transitions on their own make the episode,
exactly.
regardless of what's going on.
The Van Damme scene transition.
They're like shirtless and him like giggling.
Yeah,
and
giggling, kissing the camera, kicking the camera. Yeah.
So strange.
So yeah, there we go. That's episode 2 on our adventure of Jean-Claude Van Damme behind closed doors. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoy tweeting with us. Damcast on Twitter, jcvdamcast@gmail.com if you want to email us. If that's just too much for you, thebros@podbros.com as well if you want to email us that way. Podbros Network on Twitter, facebook.com/podbros, all the other, just search for Podbros, you'll find us. Big shout out to Motor City Mo and the Three Wise Men. If you got their Kickstarter, their episode 2, issue 2 book of Motor City Mo, right when you open up that bad boy, you know what you see on the left-hand side?
What?
Pod Bros.
Yeah.
Yes, right there, the best podcast site on the internet. Right there. Really happy to see that when I got my physical copy.
Hell yeah. Read them and weep, boys.
That's right. So thank you. Thank you to them. Thank you to all you that listen. Thank you to those that donate. For $1 super secret episode, thank you to those that just interact with us. We truly appreciate it. We love all of you Van Damme fans out there. We love that we can share something with you, even though maybe we don't get to see each other in person, or we have, miles of water that separate us. The fact that we can still talk to one another, have fun with this, know that, yeah, sure, we love Van Damme, but we also know how crazy it is too. Mm-hmm. We just have a good time with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a ride.
Anyway, that's episode 2. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
And you've been listening to another episode of the Jean-Pod Van Damme Cast. Now, Jeff, let's go buy some caviar. You're paying, right?
It's on me, baby.
My Ukrainian billionaire friend.
Yep, let me just pull out my gigantic fat stack of American dollars.
Any Ukrainian billionaires that listen to the show and really like us, we will gladly come out to Ukraine on your dime. So
hell yeah. Hit us up.
And eat some caviar.